Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 417th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, January 27th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be host today. We have Dean also co-hosting from the KFTV studio. And we welcome, as per usual in these Knowledge Seekers workshops now for several years, we welcome Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who will be speaking in today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you able to speak there?
Yes. Good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation, the Spaceship Institute teaching programs. We welcome you back to what we call grounds for understanding more and grounds for being able to serve more. Before I start, Rick, could you make me a co-host in case if you fall out, please? In the process of understanding the technology and in the process of appreciating the technology and the structure that we understand better. Before I start teaching today, I would like to thank what I call the creator, the soul of creator, for one of the conditions we ask you to, for the Universal Council of Knowledge Seekers, to support us with one of our leading knowledge seekers who was today 2 weeks in deep coma. We received news today that she has come out of it, and we'll see how we'll progress with it, and if he can join us in a short time back on the ranks, and we'll see how everything will take shape as he recovers. It has been a burden on the foundation, which we did not expect this accident. But it's not unusual to see this as we grow. More and more of us become vulnerable to what we call the time up condition of our soul to departure. And sometimes accidents are not there to be. And it brings us to the point of understanding when we have such a close people in the foundation, as we went through with a couple of other our friends in the past couple of years, that does not matter how much knowledge we have, we are all still conditioned to the dimension of physicality. We had the beautiful Sandro with us, and we've gone through pain with Fabio, one by natural processes and one by accident. We see as physicality of the man is weak. And the teachings is to make sure that we have a say in how the physicality can be protected, how the physicality of the man can bring many of us back to the point of understanding the true essence of creation from the time of inception, not at the end with the fear of departure. As I received a message from one of our friends this week, it says, I'm 92, my days are counted. And I wrote, you have just started, if you understand. We have to understand the process of both physical and the soul of the man are all integrated, are all part of the same, are all with the same position and condition. What happened to us when we depart? What happened with us when we decide through the technologies we are developing to create a condition of joint departure from the soul of the man to the dimension of soul of physicality, and then departing from the soul of physicality to the soul of the man. This is the essence of the teaching as we heard in the intro. But how much of it do we understand? And how much in the knowledge of science of man we have gone forward to see how what we can do. We have left you many, many messages in teachings, hidden messages, teaching messages, for you to understand the evolution, for you to understand the position, for you to understand many things, and gradually bring you to the point of understanding the connection and totality. There is no separation between the knowledge of the physicality and the knowledge of the soul, because it's only a different strength, at a higher strength. At that point, things take different dimension, but in fact, it's the same process. In the world of physics, we consider elements. In the world of chemistry, we consider composition, what we call joining of different elements, being in touch and connecting with. In the dimension of the soul, we have the same. It's our soul. In our dreams, in the connection of our souls with the other souls, we go to a party. We see the mom, the dad, the cousin, the uncle, and the friends in the party. So we connect with multi-dimensional souls. We learn how we can mix things and what we get out of it as a product in the chemistry. In the soul of the man, we mix it and we see what we get as emotion. There is no difference in the dimension of the creation, except man has chosen different words for the same process according to the time of understanding the process. The chemistry of love in the dimension of physicality of the man exists in much bigger way in the dimension of the soul. The love of the creator for Mitra encompasses the whole of the creation to be loved to exist. In the dimension of physicality, you're happy with the love of a man and a woman. In the dimension of their existence. And the home they make, the condition they create to nourish that love, that in time they create an offspring called the child of man. In the dimension of the soul of the man, the creator and soul of Mitra create the home, the universe, the unicos. And within it, they create the birth of that child, which is the totality of the creation to be embedded within it. The best of what they gathered in the time of the life of the two. When we create child in the dimension of the man, we give everything we have, the knowledge, the beauty, everything which is through our egg and sperm to create that soul, to create that new life that represent the beauty of the interaction of the two and the home we create for it. And so is the time for Mitra giving birth to the child of the man, child of the universe, which gathers all the beauties of everything that the creator and the Mitra in the dimension of soul have created and gathered in time of their existence. The birth of the child is the birth of the child in the dimension of physicality. It's the same in the other, where it's created through the dimension of the soul, and it can take shape of physicality. Understanding the process of the creation has to bring a new dimension to mankind, that humanity has reached a point to understand the totality. It's the man who has to decide which part of it suits him to understand, and which part of it is there to suit him to fit into the dimension of his comprehension of his environment, irrespective of the time, place, and position on Earth, on Mars, creatures in a different position of the creation in the universe. We create systems. We have created machinery to bring that process a step forward for humanity to understand. We have brought the condition that the man from now on has a choice to create children in a dimension of the physicality that he's done for centuries and millions of years and other creatures in the universe, or create a child in a dimension of the soul of the man, and then grow it to be the dimension of physicality. To you, this sounds strange, but this is how Mitra has been created. This is how the child of Mitra has been created, to be in that essence, to understand that with the perfection of the soul, you will create a perfect child. The mankind has had the opportunity to be able to do that. We go for fertilization, that we take an egg and a sperm to create a child. Now, the knowledge has reached a position that the soul of the two can bring the creation of the soul first, before the physicality like sperm and egg is needed to build that soul. And then, as they are created by the dimension of interaction of the soul of the two, a perfect child shall be born. This is a gift. This is what was promised, that everything will be perfect. It will not be perfect the way you see it, it will be perfect when it's done the way we do it, the way you will learn to do. Creating physicality through dimension of interaction of the souls, or creating the soul to lead to the dimension of creation. In the past teachings, when we showed the enhancement units, I spoke about the birth of children in the what we call the enhancement unit. Enhancement units are not delivery rooms in the hospital. We don't put a chair in there to give life to the birth of the physical dimension. It might be done, has the capability of, but in fact, it's the womb of the beauty of the souls to be able to amalgamate, to create the perfect soul, to lead to the creation of perfect child, which is a child of the man. Because it's created by the dimension of the soul of the man. Understanding this and understanding how this has become possible, this allows the what we call the universal community to interact and create a new generation of what we call children of God through the interaction of the souls, irrespective of the condition of the physicality where they are born or taken root of, where allows universal interaction, allows by interacting the souls to unite the whole of the universe. The purpose of the universal enhancement and the teaching of us up to now has been nothing but this. But we had to walk you through it. We had to introduce to you the enhancement units and every others, because man likes to play. When we put the creatures of God, does not matter one from the earth and one from another dimension of universe, within the structure of understanding of the process of the enhancement unit, the soul shall create a perfect soul, which that soul would decide what physical dimension or combination of dimensions he would like to take, or she would like to take. This is the beauty of the new knowledge. And as knowledge seekers, now that we have brought you to this point, you understand the truth about our work. When we take you into the universal community, the universal community has to be there to accept you too. Today, we marry black and white, Chinese and English, French and Germans, and the rest. And we see how beautiful children are created out of the mixture. Now is the time, the process, that we mix the soul of the unicorns, those who live within it, and they come in touch with each other, and they fall in love in the dimension of the soul to create their own children, where in dimension of physicality is impossibility. This is the beauty of such a knowledge. This is the beauty of such understanding, where we can share, where we commit two souls together across the universe, not on the planet. In a way, the knowledge is not the shell of the enhancement unit. The knowledge is the environment of the fields of the universe, which allows such amalgamation of the souls to take place to create the children of God, the true children of the soul of the Creator, and not in the dimension of physicality. Then life has its own choice and is conditioned. If a life in another position in the universe is 1,000,000 years or 10 million years, according to the time of the man, what happened when a man of universe falls in love with the beauty of the woman of the earth, which has a lifetime span of 100? Does the child in the dimension of physicality will depart in the 100, or will it live in millions? Or the combination of the two allows a new dimension of time, irrespective of place and position, where the new children of universe will live the time existence of the Creator with the same love and care, with the same understanding. In the new enhancement unit, which you will see will come as part of the flight, is not the flight to take man to the other position. It's the time to create conditions for man to see the other creatures of the universe through their soul in these units. You expect to fly, but we create such a dimension that we can create the soul, we can create a combination of the soul and physicality, or we can create the physicality. We have built this in the structure of the enhancement units. Enhancement units are not what you see and what you imagine. The technology behind it has been made so simple that you cannot even understand the potential of what is to deliver. If we have the creatures of the universe from us, with us, amongst us, and they enter in the dimension of the soul into the enhancement unit, they interact with the section which is specifically built to create interaction of the souls with the soul of the man or the woman who's on the board. If you enter in the dimension of physicality of a man and a woman of the earth, you still carry the soul of the man and the physicality of the man in the strength of the working of the system. And if you bring a stone, it still carries the same. In so many ways, the new technology, the new understanding, the new process of the development of the enhancement unit is a flight system. But what do you want to fly? The soul of the man or the physicality of the man, or both? In the process of the development of the technology, as we teach our knowledge seekers how to develop, how to understand the new system, it is for them to understand that the teachings now on is for both the dimension of physicality and the dimension of the soul of the man. Maybe in a coming time, maybe in understanding the time, we come to understand the truth about what you call a system which carries both, has the capability to carry both the physicality of the man. Man walks in the dimension of the humanity or man on earth, and closing that door, man has to face the soul of the man. If you look, and I've said before, in the old system, the first system we introduced as part of the enhancement units, what you saw was very, very clear. In the enhancement units, you have systems hanging outside. You had reactors which are there, but in the new system are not there. We have hidden the technology advancement that knowledge seekers have understood has advanced enough that now you walk in with a clear interaction of the fields. The problem in the old system was that you had matter state mixing inside with the reactors and the motors with the body of the man. In the new technology, it's just only the soul of the man. It's only to understand how different states of the matter within the body of the man work, that it leads to interaction between both the soul and the physicality. Here we have the picture of one of the Chinese workers in the factory as they are building the first 50 units and then the first 100 in the next few months. It's very strange, but look at the uniform he wears. What happened if another man with another uniform and clothing entered this system? What happened when we put this system in what we call correction facilities and the prisons, and we walk a man with a uniform inside, with all the criminality which is embedded in his dimension of physicality, and we allow him to meet his soul? And what kind of man will walk with that uniform out of the system? As I said to a knowledge seeker, would walking into these systems be the deed of judgment for every man, that he has to meet his own creator, which is his own soul, and himself and his conduct? The process of the teaching has become much simpler for us as more and more technologies has been developed for more and more of you to see and understand. Would we, in the coming time, when a man or a woman asks to be a member of the Universal Council, walk into this system and he sees the exact dimension of what they are standing for? Would they come in touch with the universal community to understand how much they have to elevate their souls to be able to serve the man, the woman, or the animal which is born and bred in the dimension of that place and language? It's very interesting. If some of you have noticed in your lifetime, you bring up a little dog and you speak to it French all the time. You take it to another land and they want to say the same thing to it in English or German, does not understand. So even the soul of the animals is connected to the dimension of the language of the man. This is why we say the Universal Council members are responsible for totality of the creation within the what we call jurisdiction of the language. We are responsible for it. And now we understand the level of responsibility. The new enhancement unit for flight, in a way, is for flight between the two souls of the man. The two souls of the man of the physicality and the soul of the man in totality. Which flight of fantasy would you like to take? Would we buy a ticket just for a ride to have a fun? Or would we walk in that we buy the ticket of freedom of the man from the dimension of both the physicality and the soul to work together? Does not matter how and who we claim our intention by word. It's how our soul works within which counts. As I said recently, do I love you or am I in love with you? To a man of straight understanding is the same. Does not matter who will be. I love you, my child, because I'm in love with your existence. I love you, my wife, because I'm in love with your existence. I don't put separation in the meaning and the word. But in essence, a man will end up to love and be in love with the totality of the creation. In the new enhancement units, which we have developed, and you will see more combination of the use and understanding, is the responsibility of what we call the knowledge seekers of the upcoming time to add more usages in the dimension of physicality to this system. From the point of view of the dimension of the soul, these systems are complete. They work to what they have to do from the establishment of the time of their source. When you walk into the new enhancement unit for flight, you'll be amazed in what you see. No control panel. Nothing to control it. All done through the thought of the man who takes charge of all the souls within. As we are preparing the nations to accept this technology, is the responsibility of the knowledge seekers and Universal Council to make sure that your nations and your sections of this planet are ready to accept, to understand, and not become another fanfare. The fanfare should be in the brain of the man how much of the beauty of the creation he can see. Not on the machine, what goes in, what comes out. It's the responsibility of knowledge seekers to extend the teachings of the Keshe Foundation amongst men, for them to understand that there is no messages except the message within their soul and the soul of physicality. The emotion of understanding the totality. One day, as knowledge seekers in an upcoming time, you will understand what is about to come and what is about to happen. And then we will see the evolution and the change in understanding of the totality by man. As I said, we are not a religion and we are not a cult. We are a scientific organization for man to understand the work of his physicality and parallel the same in the dimension of the fields, what we call the soul of man. What is micro, what is macro? Depends in which dimension you want to operate. But by being able to understand the new dimension, those who use these systems, then they don't become profit to the others which they go to and they travel to. They understand that they become the messengers of the knowledge, that everyone who comes in touch with them receives the totality of the message. And it's not forced to accept by fear or by other means, but it's given as a pleasure for them to understand the process of existence. This is why we have said is the end of what we call the prophet and messengers. Because the message is within the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of man and no more. The game of priesthood, ayatollahhood, rabbis, and the rest has come to an end. And many of them try to clean up before they hand over. They're trying to make sure everything is perfect for the nations and the people, the follower, that they hand over a clean sheet because they know they are responsible for the mistakes of the past. This goes directly to Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran and to the Vatican and the two rabbis in Jerusalem and the head priest in China and Tibet. Clean up and make everything ready for the time of transition. Use your positions to elevate the soul of the followers, not to create another scare and mayhem. It's the time to rejoice that the understanding of the man has risen. To understand the process of the creation in the next level. We had the industrial revolutions. Now we have revolution in understanding the operation of the soul of the man and the existence and operation of the soul of the creator within the man. It is the responsibility of knowledge seekers, if you have heard the message, to respond to it, to be ready for elevation of your soul of physicality, to understand the process, to be able to understand the technologies which is developed for the next step in the evolution of the science of the physicality of the man. As I've said many times before, we had the Industrial Revolution by steams and other things. Now we have the plasma revolution, where we understand the process of the true work of the works of the magnetic fields of the universe, which leads to creation and direction of fields and what we call plasmas. This process completes and makes man ready for the next step in the upcoming time to understand more about the science of the creation. This is not the end. The world of plasma is not even the first step in the knowledge of the Creator. We have not even stood up, let alone to walk, after we understand the totality of the knowledge of the plasma in upcoming time. Then when man understands the purpose of that, then he might stand up to walk. And as I said many times, this ladder has thousands of steps. And to go up one step, you have to understand more the true process of the creation. Listen to my teachings in the past and understand when we talk from 2 points. One for the man to understand and one for the man to understand in the future what we taught. In the teaching of the dimension of physicality, I always explain if the present scientists of today say that the universe, our universe is expanding, there must be a room for it somewhere to expand into. So we are part of the bigger structure that we are expanding and operating within. Then you should have understood, if we are in the dimension of the creation of the Creator, and our Creator is there to confirm His existence, He is definitely part of another process of creation. Then, when the man knowledge of plasma and interaction of the fields matures, man will look for a new science in the dimension of the totality of the creation, which creates the unicause and beyond. Man is not ready to comprehend this, not yet. And there won't be any messengers to bring it. It will be the evolution of comprehension and understanding of the science of creation, which will lead each man to that point. There is no beginning to it, and there is no end. It's time for the maturity of the man to understand, and in that process, will evolve. Will learn from other souls, and in interaction, his eyes will be open to a new dimension. beyond dimension of the plasma and the creation and the creator, which he calls the creator or the God. How long will it take for the members of the universe and the unicos to mature to that point, to see, to enter the next level of understanding? It all depends how the universal community works in all dimensions to find the hidden gate to the opening of the new and the next level of understanding of the process of the creation. Then this will answer the question, the book number 8, where does the magnetic fields come from? What is the origin of the fields? Was it created by the creator, or in the essence of work of other dimensions slowing down have become the structure of the creator we called God? Then what is that knowledge? What is that beauty that leads to creation of such a beauty we call the creator? As I said many times, if you have a beautiful partner, don't you want to show it to the others? How beautiful, how perfect your partner is and your lover is? Who does our God and Creator shows his lover to? The Mitra. Then there has to be a process beyond it. There has to be a new understanding of what it came from. What is the true essence of creation? And would that lead to the creation of what we call the creator, which becomes the soul of man in the essence of dimension and strength? Man is not ready for this knowledge. I come from that dimension, and in totality, we see the other dimensions. We come from dimensions even above that, but the soul of the man and knowledge of the universe is not ready for it. We worship statues, and we worship false gods in the name of the false people. This time shall not happen. It's the soul of the man who has to find the essence of the creation, the true essence of the origin of what we call existence. In Book 8, I go in depth in this. Part of the Book 8 is already written, and it starts from that point. The original magnetic field. The original magnetic field which has led to the creation of the creator, and the man which is made in his image comes from another dimension, which man is not aware of. But in essence, again, what is in macro of the cycle of our creator, or the micro of the cycle of the same. It purpose and lives in both dimensions. Mankind has to understand the interaction of the new enhancement units is combination of understanding the totality from what I call the time of inception of the creation as a whole. Where did the original fields, the original essence came that it led to the creation of the others, and in the slowing down and the strengthening or amalgamation of or division of led to creation of one to another and the man thereof. Don't forget, we are the creators of our children. We are creators of the cells in our body. Which cell are we in the body of the creator? And which cell the body of our creator is in the body of the totality? This is what the man has to understand in the upcoming time, as his evolution of the soul progresses to deeper understanding of the creation. Let me put it this way. Man strives to understand how to make fire, and strive to understand how to create steam, and he strive to understand how to use the pressures of the steam or gases to create propulsion and the rest. Now that the man is given the freedom of not being tied up to the energy resources of the planet to feed itself and to confirm its existence, what would the soul of the knowledge of the man do? Create another engine and spend its time to create more tools of war? Or would the soul of the new generation of the man and the unicos targets one thing: to understand as fast as possible in a perfect condition the essence, true essence of the creation of the Creator and there beyond? Now, there shall not be a university of theology. There will be universities of understanding the effect of the fields of the universe, in how, in the shape, and in the way has led to the creation of the Creator and the man. Creator must have come from somewhere. It's not a magic work, it's just a phantom. Then we become phantom, and we don't exist too. The origin of the creation of life in the totality of the creation is beyond, far beyond understanding of the man today. And in time, as we stay amongst men of the universe, we teach. You have to know how to walk. Then we teach you how to run. And we teach you how to jump to highest levels of understanding of the knowledge of the creation. Condition of peace, creating peace on this planet was the first. Now you have to change. Now you have to bring the next step in. The unification of the science in the dimension of understanding the creation, and not just for the comfort of man. This is not another mixer, food processor, another engine, or another new pan, or a new material. This is understanding the process of the creation, that through it we feed ourselves, that we don't need no food processor, no pans, and no other thing. Because we have learned the process of absorbing energies from dimensions of the creation. Maybe in the process of the teaching today, I have enlightened you to see more. But that is all our job is, to share the knowledge of the creation freely amongst men and those who live within the universe. That in that process, they might more understand about the totality of their own Creator. Thank you very much for today's time. And I hope I open your eyes to another chapter in the process of the creation and the system that you will see, which will come across your nations, will come across your part of land, and does not become, as I said, a fanfare tool, but understanding the process and not exclusivity of the church and the mosques, which they put it in to confirm they found the Creator way, but for all man to learn how the creation and the process of creation has started. You have just been given the straw to build the house of the creation. Let's see how man uses this knowledge with pleasure and not out of fear. Understanding the process of the creation and not being afraid of how the creation might do with it, as himself is part of that process. Rick, would you like to go through a break? And then we come back and we answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. So we'll take a few minutes break here and play through some of the videos from the Kesh Foundation. Okay, see you in a few minutes, everyone.